Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
All right, consider this. Okay, once upon a time, I was, young man, 20 years old. I was working in a company as an employee. My job was get up in the morning, report to office on time. The boss will have a meeting, tell us you're supposed to do A, B, C, D, whatever. You're supposed to achieve your targets. And we would go about our day. And before the day would end, report to the boss. Job is over, go back home. And this continued in my life until I decided to leave the corporate world as an employee and, be a self-employed, be a businessman. Okay, businessman, or you could say as a consultant or a coach or whatever, but I had to earn my own. Okay, I didn't have a boss. I was not an employee. I didn't get a fixed salary. So I had to face the real world, the market outside. Okay. So this was before. This was before me as an employee. Today, I'm 46 years old. I have been I've been in this line of work nearly 11 years. 11 years means, as in, I completely left the corporate world. I'm not getting a salary. I am only earning by putting value outside or advertising myself or marketing myself. And people from all over the world, all walks of life, wherever, they'll approach me, they'll ask me, okay, how much do you charge? What do you charge? I would like this service, that service, or what services you provide. And they pay me money. The difference between this being an employee was here I was getting a guaranteed salary. I knew what I was supposed to do, had to achieve that. Okay, targets were given. And I didn't have any other stress other than I have to achieve my target and get a salary. Okay. But on this other side, there are a lot more challenges, lot more difficulties. Okay. Because maybe today is a great day. Today I got a great client. Tomorrow, maybe I'll not get. In fact, I do not know if I'll get a client for the next 7 days, 14 days, 1 month. Maybe I'll get one client suddenly from somewhere. Maybe I'll not get a client at all. Maybe I'll get four clients every single day for the next 5 days, and then nothing for maybe a month. So it's very, very volatile, very unpredictable. But now, what have I learned from here versus here? Means employee to employer. What is one of the biggest lessons which I feel you can learn and which can benefit you? Okay, I'll share that in this video. And put down your comments and let me know if I missed out on anything. Okay. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Loy Machedo. I'm a personal branding strategist. I help people get well-paying jobs in Dubai, UAE, also Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. And people book my services for coaching, consulting when they have personal or professional problems. And they want hardcore, practical, realistic solutions, not the goody-goody diplomatic stuff that you see online. So details are put down below if you're interested in my services. Okay. Now, one of the key things that I realized, one of the key facts that I realized is when you are earning your own money now, you're on this tightrope. You're trying to balance every single day. In fact, if you see this movie, that World Trade Center, this is a documentary, World Trade Center, where one guy did a tightrope walking between both the Twin Towers. You must watch that documentary. Amazing movie. I loved it. Okay, I can't get the name. Between two towers or walking between two towers. award-winning documentary. Beautiful performances. I can't get the actor's name also. Anyway, let's see if I can remember. I'll share it in the description. So when you're walking a tightrope now, when you're walking on a tightrope, every step you have to be careful. Maybe the wind is blowing, maybe you're shaking. And after you took one step, you relax, and then you take the second step. And every step of the way, something can happen where you can fall. And if you fall, it's finished. I know that I'm giving you a very extreme case, but this is more or less the life that I have chosen, or business people have chosen, or freelancers have chosen. We just don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. And that keeps us at the edge. There is no comfort zone. There is no like relax. And here's the part which is behind the scenes, which you don't notice. Like, for example, in the last week alone, this week, you could say this week, I received 3 emails from google.com, youtube.com. Yeah. One from Google, two from YouTube, yes. On their changing policies of what direction they are going. And, obviously you have to read the terms and conditions and try to figure out what is happening. And then I discussed with my guy who is working at Google, and I asked him, can you simplify this for me? Like, what the hell is this actually? And it's so incredibly amazing that they are changing their policies as to how you earn, how ads are placed, what they'll be charging advertisers. In fact, you must have known now there are no more ad blockers which work. So you have to, whether you like it or not, see the ads. So there's so much of change in the online space. Now you might think, it's online, man. It doesn't impact us. Well, it does. It does, because advertisers, people who are companies, they advertise with these guys. They pay money to them. They pay money to Facebook, social media companies, YouTube, Google. They pay money. And you might not know this if you're an employee, because you don't think like a businessman. So these people have to pay these social media giants money so that they are visible, so that they get customers. And when they change their policies, social media, it impacts the business people. And why does the social media company change its policy? Because the government has changed its policy. So it's like at a meta level, at a higher level, they are changing their policies, maybe publicly or privately or secretly. And then the social media companies, they are always super hyper alert. Like, for example, there is this incredible fact that Apple.com, before COVID struck, it seems that they shut down many of their stores, many, including the ones in China. And then COVID struck, so obviously business was down. And their strategy, it seems they kind of knew in advance. There's quote unquote, like they knew in advance people were going to work from home, or people were going to, do a lot of things from home without going outside. And that is where they came out with new technologies that promoted this. And before the economy is opened, this is a fact, before the economy is opened, Apple already started to roll out plans to open new stores. I think 155 in various key locations. I don't know which particular country. And then the economy is opened. So they already had planned it out and they were already implementing. So the point I'm trying to tell you is these social media companies and the government companies, they have access to information before we get that information. Okay. So for content creators like us, or business people who are very much involved in trying to figure out what is happening, we're constantly searching for information that is there. Sometimes we get the answers, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we get the information easily, sometimes you don't. But the minute we get access to the information, we act immediately, keeping in mind how the future is going to be. See, For example, if I'm going to start, I'm just making you understand. If I'm going to start a marketing campaign today, it is keeping in mind the year end. So I need to reverse engineer, like what would give me the maximum revenue at the end of the year? What would give me? So I need to do that from today. So by the end of the year, I have achieved my target. So that is how people plan out their targets, their actions, their advertising, their every single thing. Okay, all single actions. Even for example, me, let's say, for example, me, what I'm doing now is not for now. If I were to do it, like let's say, for example, cryptocurrency is now viral. If I change my strategy and say cryptocurrency is viral, I'll start talking of cryptocurrency only. Short term, it'll benefit me a lot. Wow, there is a wave. I'm riding the wave. Cryptocurrency is there. I'm making money. But long term, it's going to harm me a lot. Why? Because if today I change to cryptocurrency, when cryptocurrency crashes, my brand will crash with it. This is the same challenge that YouTubers who are gamers they face. If someone is good, let's say someone is good at um, what do you call that? Counter Strike. It's a game that is online. Someone is good at Counter Strike, and the game becomes super popular. The YouTuber who is good at that game, he will ride the wave. He will become popular with the game. But the day that game loses popularity, because he's known for that game, he will die with that game. It can be Apex Legends. It can be what is that? Minecraft. These are some very popular games. It can be Diablo. Whatever game you are playing, and you're famous for that, or you're the best at that. If that game goes up, you go up with it. But when the game goes down, the popularity obviously dies. You die with it. And then what happens is these gamers, no, they're constantly looking out for which is the next wave, which is the next big game. And they have to be early adopters. They have to, if they identify, okay, this new shoot 'em up game is going to be very popular, they have to not only learn the game, they have to master the game, they have to practice the game, they have to be good at it, they have to come out with videos about it, they have to talk about it. And it's a risk. You don't know whether it will work or it will fail. And if it works, great guns for you. But if it fails, then you're in deep trouble. So what these people are constantly doing is predicting in advance what the next big wave will be. But their strategy is short term in terms of choosing the game, but long term in terms of being a gaming channel, if you understand what I mean. Okay. So, same thing with, let's say, me. Just because cryptocurrency is become the big thing, if I jump into cryptocurrency and tomorrow it crashes, and tomorrow real estate becomes a very big thing, and I jump into being a real estate expert, and then it crashes, and then I check, okay, what is the next big thing? Okay, forex trading, for example, forex trading or commodities, and I jump into that. People will get confused. And what does Loy Machedo stand for? Is he a crypto guy, or is he a real estate guy, or what is he? Or is he just like the wind? Every time he changes. See, if you notice, whenever I promote myself, I say personal branding strategist. I've been saying this for the 11 years that my videos have been there. Personal branding. Okay. Now, does that mean personal branding is a very big thing? It's a tsunami. It's a money maker. No, absolutely not. Personal branding is not at all viral. Personal branding is not at all like the happening fad. It's the new in thing. Personal branding has been there. It has seen small spikes of popularity, like Gary Vaynerchuk or let's say Seth Godin, or you might get two or three people who will talk about it. They'll be famous, but then it just dies off. So then the question is, why did I take personal branding? I took personal branding because I know whether it is viral, whether it is boring, it is necessary. There are some skills which are very necessary. Let's say, for example, they call it soft skills. like communication, networking, public speaking, marketing yourself, uh, getting a job, finding a good job. These are universal things. So that is why I chose that. And the road to surviving and thriving, growing in this line of career has been very, very slow. So slow that, like literally in a month, for example, before I was getting only, let's say on YouTube, I was getting only maybe 10 people per month who joined my channel. Today, maybe 100 people are joining my channel, just 100 or 200 or whatever per month. Very, very low, extremely low. If you compare that with, let's say, a singer, a dancer, a creative artist, entertainer, or OnlyFans, or someone who's viral, they'll get 1 million subscribers who will suddenly join. But then the question is that consistent? Is that a trend? Is that luck? What is it? Now, how does this advice apply to you? Okay, here's the big question. How does it apply to you? See, I started off by saying, no, I was an employee before. When I was an employee, I used to read the news, I used to hear about the news, but I was not too bothered whether the market is going up, whether the market is going down. I would just say that the market is bad, yeah, the market is tough, yeah, just a generic talk. But I didn't have the inclination to really do soul searching, to really analyze what was going on. I never did that. See, like in my WhatsApp groups, I have these guys who are into stock market, trading, commodities, forex. Some before they were some into crypto, but now nobody is. So they always read predictions or anticipate what is going to happen next, or discuss should you invest in that, should you invest in this. So that is one way how they are keeping themselves abreast with the changes of the market. And there it's pretty interesting because every time there's a new government policy, every time there's a war, every time there is a new bilateral agreement, they noticed changes in uh, the government policies. They noticed changes in the demand and supply of, let's say, certain commodities or shares, or because it's pretty volatile. Like forex, what I call it is a bit like gambling. You don't know what's going to happen next. But that is also one other way how people keep themselves alert. But the ultimate way, the actual ultimate way is a businessman. A businessman who runs a business. Like in my case, you can call me as a businessman who runs his brand, but there are businessmen who run a business. And when they run a business and they have a product or service that they have to create, they have to plan in advance. Let's say now 2024 is coming. A company is not going to plan out, let's start something today. The owner is going to sit down, and I've sat down with owners and CEOs, and that is how I know. They'll plan out, okay, 2023 we earned 10 million, for example. 2024 we should target 12 million. They'll always keep a realistic target. They'll not say 10 million, let's focus on 20 million, 30 million, 100 million. No. We did 10 million. Let's target 12 million. Now, in order to get 12 million, what should we do? Okay, materials we should buy in advance and try to get a discount, okay, or get a better price. Maybe we'll bring in new salespeople, but if we bring salespeople, the salaries, the overheads will increase. And these guys, maybe 3 months or 6 months, they'll not be performing. They'll just do, they're getting used to the company. And one second, let me just take a sniff of this. This is eucalyptus leaves and all that. Sometimes I feel like sneezing. You know that tickly feeling in the nose, no? Okay. So they will analyze. Okay, if I employ the salespeople, I'll have to pay them salary. 6 months, they're not going to do anything. They'll just be learning within the company, learning the processes, and maybe after 6 months they will start getting just the basics. But we are just covering for their overheads. So do we do that, or do we get an experienced guy, pay him more money, but get guaranteed sales? Or maybe the owner of the company and the senior ups, they can go and speak to potential clients or potential project, which are coming up, or existing people that they know, and maybe they'll say, listen, you give me this job, I'll give you something extra privately. We can make an understanding between us. Can you guarantee me X amount of business? So they'll be making all sorts of plans. They'll be like, okay, where can we cut down expenses? What were some of the mistakes that we did? Where did we waste money? This guy is our, let's say, logistics or transportation company. He charged us X amount last year. This year he's planning to increase. Can we get someone more reliable? Insurance company. They didn't give us the claim when we had asked. Should we change? So plenty of things they talk about, they think, and they try to analyze. So, and they also have to predict, okay, what if I heard that these 4-5 guys who are our key guys, they're planning to resign from the company. We will lose revenues because of them we got so much X amount of sales. What do we do? The government is planning to increase taxes. Okay. So before we had 5% tax. Now we're going to have 7%, a 2% decrease. That'll be, let's say, for example, that'll be let's say $500,000. What do we do? Where do we get this $500,000 from? So, or they also keep a buffer. What if last year we lost 40% of the projects we bid for? We lost, let's say, 20 million we lost over there. So 20 million in losses. How do we get that 20 million if suppose it happens this year? So, they keep analyzing so many factors, so many areas, overheads, cost, or this AC that we were using in this thing, this is taking too much electricity. Can we replace those units with something else? Or can we have instead of providing them pick and drop service, can we buy our own new fleet of vehicles and reduce overheads over there? Can we bring a new rental company? So they analyze so many factors, so many areas, so many avenues. Okay. So that is how a businessman thinks. And it's like a chess game where you predict in advance what are the moves your opponent might have. And you not only keep in mind how he's playing, not only execute your strategy, but you have to be aware what is happening. So that is how a businessman thinks. And that is how I have been forced to think if I had to survive. And now it's become second nature to me. So that is why, I'll tell you, I was just sleeping. I was just lying down in bed, and I slept a little early because I was slightly exhausted. I had, 4-5 client calls, and it's pretty exhausting because you take it very seriously. And, when I just sometimes open my eyes or I go to the washroom, I'll just open my phone and check, okay, any WhatsApp message, any email, anything urgent. And lo and behold, I got this notification from YouTube. Please check into your admin console. A very important alert is there. Immediately, I lost my sleep. I got up, I checked, and there were some new policy changes and new directives for people who use their platform. And I was like, oh, sheesh, now I have to change my strategy again. Now, even though I'm a small channel, imagine I have to do so much. Imagine the bigger channels that are earning literally millions, or like, let's say, a company like Linus Tech Tips. He has, I think, 11 YouTube channels, or Mr. Beast, who has like 15 YouTube channels, all are making millions. I mean, you literally have to have a CEO or a business manager to really plan out all these things. These are not jokes. So, what I'm trying, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to tell you here is, you have to take the proactive approach to know what is happening around you. You cannot be just an employee, sit and just get the salary and go home. Now, maybe you're in your 20s or maybe you're in your 30s and you're like, what do I do? How do I find out what is happening? Do I talk in WhatsApp groups, or do I check the newspapers? And if I check the newspaper, is there any particular area? No, there is no one answer. There's no such thing as check this website and they will tell you what is happening. All you got to do is look at all the factors that are changing. Let's say Russia-Ukraine war. How did that impact your country, trade, taxes, jobs? Israel-Palestinian war. How did that impact the business trade? Like, for example, one guy happened to tell me in Oman, okay, he was telling me because of US supporting Israel, KFC, Hardee's, all the American brands, all the American shops, all the American businesses which were there, all the Omanis who are Muslims are boycotting them. There's not a single person who's Muslim, Arab, who's going there to eat, and they are losing money, hemorrhaging cash. They are dying. They're like, what can we do? We can't force people to come here. So people are boycotting, and that is, creating incredible losses for these brands. For example, when Denmark made these cartoons against Islam or something, so many Arab countries like Qatar and Saudi and all, they removed all the Denmark products, Denmark cheese, Denmark butter, Denmark milk, and all that. And then these companies, they, in order to not lose their customer base, they made sizable donations to Muslim groups to support them. And they said, uh, they had to be very diplomatic because they couldn't say that we forget the free speech and forget Denmark, we'll support you, we just want your business. No, they had to be very diplomatic with their words. They had to say, we support equality of human rights and our brand believes in diversity and all that bullshit talk that they give, because at the end of the day, others you lose billions. Yeah, like Kanye West, when he made the so-called anti-Semitic remarks, Adidas severed ties with him. But guess what? Adidas suffered. They lost billions in terms of revenue. Their brand value dropped. It's crazy. See what happened to Elon Musk. Elon Musk purchased Twitter at 44 billion, which was hyped. Today it's less than half, it seems, half its value. Because every action that you do, there is a price to pay for it. And when you talk or state something, or when there's a government regulation and you act accordingly or you act against it, there will be repercussions. So for you as an employee, what I would suggest is keep your eyes and ears open. See what is happening around the world. And then use a little bit of creative thinking, a little bit of logic. Okay, this war is taking place, Israel versus Palestine. Who's supporting Israel? Who's supporting Palestine? Which are the brands that come from the countries that support Israel? Which are the brands that come from the countries that support Palestine? The country that I'm living in, does it support Israel? Does it support Palestine? And who is the majority? Who's the minority? And how will it impact? So when you ask all these questions, you'll get answers. And always remember, it's a chain reaction. If someone doesn't buy from a particular brand, that brand cannot, let's say the brand is going in a loss, then the brand cannot pay its suppliers. The brand cannot offer its employees incentives. In some cases, they might even terminate employees. Then the vendors who are dealing with that brand, they have less money. The employees who are getting good money from this brand get less money, less purchasing power. The ones who lost their job, no purchasing power. And then when these people go for shopping, now they will reduce their shopping because they'll be like, man, tough days ahead. We don't have enough money. Or the people who lost their jobs, let's stop all unnecessary spending. Let's not go out to eat. Let's eat at home. Let's not buy expensive brands. Let's buy cheaper ones. And then, like a chain reaction, they are not eating out. The restaurants will suffer. They're not watching movies. Theaters will suffer. They are not going out to amusement parks, entertainment. They will suffer. And then they are employed. So it goes like a chain reaction. So just keep this in mind. And I'll tell you, once you change your way of thinking, the way you look at the world, you have a paradigm shift and you look at the larger picture, you will no longer be a happy-go-lucky employee who just goes to work. You will change and evolve into being a person who is, constantly looking at so many things, and you'll be at the edge. You'll be at the edge where you'll be like, I have to evolve, or I'm going to go extinct. Remember, if you want to survive in today's changing environment, you absolutely cannot be in your comfort zone. To be dynamic, you have to be, 2, 3 steps ahead, and you have to forecast what is happening. And if not, promulgate or share this or predictions with anyone. Use that information to ensure you save your ass in the end and you make your money. Because always remember, end of the day, survival of the fittest. All right? This is what I wanted to share with you. Good, bad, ugly. Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to read what you have to say. You guys take care.